All right, so for our mixed media tranquil textures workshop today, I'm going to be working on this coloring page. This is a really nice funky face and a woman which we'll be working on. So there's two that I had done before. One of them was with these flowers. You can see over here, this is some nice scrapbooking paper that I had used, and some stamping and some 3D dimensional work and some gold work as well. And this one, this is a carrot cage. Similar, again, this is some paper that I had in my stash, in my paper stash, and I used, and this is a bit of tissue paper with some intricate details and some gold work as well, and a little bit of markers. And here on the outside, you can see this is a bit of distress ink, which I had just stamped on and stuff like that. So today we'll be doing a little, it is a coloring page for sure. The technique is pretty similar, where we'll be cutting these like different pieces, putting them over here with the flowers and everything. But the materials I'll be using will be slightly different. I will be using obviously some paper. So I have this red paper here. I wanted to use a black, gold, and reddish color. So I have all this here. So gold, red. This was just a wrapping paper, which is again black and gold. This one we'll be using for her face, and this probably will be for the flowers. And because this one has some strings like this, I thought this would be good for her hair. And then I'll be using a little bit of gold foil, depending upon, let's see how the plan goes. I'm not sure at this time. And that is the idea of mixed media. You don't know what to expect, just keep going and really have fun with it. So why not? So let us now start. And of course, I have this one is printed on cardstock paper because I'll be using water. And here I have this is Cavendish water soluble wax pastels that I will be using to give it some color. And this is the adhesive size for the gold foil, for the gold flakes that we'll be putting in, and maybe we'll do some stamping as well. And I'm going to be pasting my cutouts paper today using matte gel. And the reason for that is that I want to paint on top of it. The previous workshops that I had done, I had used Mod Podge. And with Mod Podge, you cannot paint on the top because it becomes a waterproof, unless you do acrylics, that's different. But if you're using with watercolor, you cannot do it because it does become, so here, let me show you this one. So you can see here, there's a little bit of a shine over here, and it's very smooth. And if I wanted to paint on top of this, I can't, because there's a coat of Mod Podge over here, which makes it waterproof, and it also seals your work really nicely. So today I wanted to do a bit of painting on top of it. So I'll be using the matte gel, which is kind of nice, and you can use this. This is a really cool medium for here. So with that being said, and of course I need my X-Acto knife, and I need my cutting mat as well, and I've got loads of supplies all around me here. So this is my cutting mat here that I will be using. Let me push this here so I show you the technique over here. So I'm going to start with, let's put this here. So I'm going to start with her hair. Okay. So I have printed it on 3 sheets. So 1, 2, and 3, and 1 here. So one of them is my, let's say, my reference photo, so that I don't lose track of what I'm doing. I'm just putting it in front of me right here. Okay. And we'll be using this as the cutting thing. So we'll start off with the hair. And so I'm going to put my paper on this cutting mat, and I'll put my the actual here. Yeah. So I'm going to putting this, the actual design on here, and I'm going to start cutting it. Now make sure that your X-Acto knife is sharp enough. So we'll start with the, let's say, the largest one, this one over here. Okay, so, and again, the design will change when you start cutting it, and which is okay. Just going to, it's just too much stuff around me, so let me just make some adjustments so that I can, oh, that's better. You can see it clearly. Okay, so I have this, and I'm just going to, so I'm going to cut from here. Okay, let me show you. I'm pushing hard so that I'm cutting the paper below. So the sheet on the top actually works like a sort of a template. And don't worry if it's not perfect, you will need to push hard, just so that you're able to gather all the details. And I'll show you in a minute. Move it a little bit on the top, move it. Move it over here. And I'll just give it a go up to, this is cut, this is cut. From here. So we'll cut this as well. You see this piece coming out. You can use thinner paper if you want. It's entirely up to you. And I want to separate this, so I'm going to okay. See this whole piece? Cut it. So this whole piece is out. Okay. And let's see if this piece comes out. Yes, it's coming out perfectly. And here we go. So we have, this is the first lock of hair. And I'm just going to place this over here. I won't stick it for now because we'll do some bit more cutting. Okay. And remember this piece that had come out? So I'm going to put this in here. What I can do is I can make this a little bit, I can trim this a little bit. I can get my scissor to make it a little bit smaller. Or if you want, you can use a different color there, which I'm actually thinking that I will do. So I have this golden paper here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and I'm just going to cut it just to give it a little bit more texture and more design. It doesn't always have to be the same. There we go. So we got this here, and this can actually go here in here. So you can just break up that that whole thing. Okay, and that's that. And now let's do this piece, this part over here. So I'm just going to keep this, I'm just going to keep this piece just in case, you never know. Okay, so now we go back to our paper here. And I'm going to keep this like this. And we will cut this section. And like I said, it does not have to be perfect at all. All right, so we've got this piece out. And let's see if this piece comes out here. You can see the cut marks there. It's coming out beautifully. Here I got this piece. Okay, and I'm going to place this right here to fit it in right here. This one is here. And if there's a few gaps, you can see there's some gaps over here, which is completely okay. That will add a lot of interesting, and we're going to be using colors to really show these lines. Okay, so that's that. Let me put this on the side. Okay, now I am going to cut this. So we'll do the hair first, and then we'll cut out the flowers, and then finally the face. So I'm going to cut now this part. So when you're doing this kind of work, give yourself plenty of time. You do need to have some patience. And patience is a virtue which I believe all of us need to have. And there we go. There's this piece coming out. So, okay, so we need to cut. Let's see if this thing moves. So if this thing moves, what you can do is you can just take a look over here and see how it is, and just give it like a rough kind of thing. Okay, and we have this piece. Bring back my painting, and I will place this here just so that we have the placements where they need to be. And like I said, don't worry about that, they need to be perfect. This flower we'll cut out later. So now we have this, and now let's cut out this big section. So once we have the big sections cut out, and this part as well, and this section as well, it's going to really build up really fast. So we've got this piece out, and let me get this cut from here. So this is not needed. Okay. So now let's cut out this lock of hair. Make sure you have enough paper. Okay, we got this lock out as well. And let's pull out the paper. Okay, so we got this piece. And we'll bring back my painting here. Now it is important that you keep putting in those pieces in place, otherwise you will lose them. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to cut this piece. So I have this piece here, right there. And bring back my painting. Just going to put it here. And now I'm going to move to this section, this large section up on the top. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this whole piece, this big piece first, and then make it into smaller pieces. It'll just make it easier to work through. A little tricky because of the intricate details. A bit tricky here. Okay, now in this part over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it for the as a golden one, like what I had done at the bottom. So cut it here. That. And I think we're good. I'm going to cut. Okay. We've got this piece out, and now I'm just going to cut it into the smaller components. So this one is here. Okay, and then there's this one right here. And there's one I'm going to do right here. Let's start from here. Okay, I think I've got everything. Yes, okay. So now I'm going to remove this. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not disturbing this so that I know where things are. We'll remove this and take out our entire piece. Now do not separate the components at this stage because you do not want to land up in a mess. I'm literally looking for pieces. So I have this whole thing, right? So I'm going to bring my painting here. And now I will separate the pieces. So I'm going to separate this one here. And I'm going to keep this for now because I thought I'll do like golden depending upon how my painting is going. I won't discard this piece. Sorry. This piece over here. Okay. And I'm placing my pieces in there. So this one, okay, so this one goes here. Sorry, this one goes here. Then this large one goes right here. And there's a smaller one. The next one, the next to this one is right here. And of course, we will keep adjusting. And this whole round one goes right there. Okay, so we got that. Hi, Jags. So I'm going to keep going. So we got this piece, we got this one, we got this one, this section. So this section is this piece. So we'll decide later on whether I want it as golden or whether I want it as black. So I'm going to just preserve this piece and keep it on the side. And now I'm going to cut this section here. Just move it away. Okay. So I'm going to put it here. Just put it on the edge so that we are able to, it's just easier to cut, that's all. So we've got this piece as well. I think we've got most of the hair part. And I'm going to start sticking them just so that I don't lose track. And once I've stuck all the hair on, and I'll show that to you in a minute, then we'll go into the other details. So let me get this out of the way and get my painting in here. So this was this piece that goes right here. Okay. So like I had said to you before, I am using the matte gel medium today. And it's a new, I just got it. It's a new package. And for this, the brush that you use for this, make sure that you're using, like a brush which is something you don't use for your watercolor or acrylics. So I have this brush over here. I'm just going to put this back into my container. And this, the matte medium dries smooth and it dries hard. So it's really, it protects and it's also glue. It's a fantastic medium to use. Okay. So I'm going to start putting my pieces together. So over here. Okay. And once we have all the pieces, everything done, then we're going to put one coat of this matte medium on the top as well. So right now I'm just gluing my pieces. That's all I'm doing. So I have the reference drawing right in front of me, so that I know if I'm doing anything wrong, I can refer it to it. And maybe we can put the glue in here, because you already have those pieces cut up, and then you can quickly glue them there. Okay, so this piece goes here. This golden piece goes here. And this big piece is right beside it here. And this piece goes right here. And because it dries transparent, so you don't have to worry like too much. If it goes over the other areas, it's completely okay. Right. Now we go into this section here. I can just move this over here because I know they're in order, and I'll put my glue and then get my pieces back in. So I'm leaving this section right now alone because I don't have a piece for there. Okay, like that, and this little pieces for here. And even if there is a bit of an overlap, it's completely okay. That adds a lot to the texture, and it kind of gives some nice dimension to it as well. Okay. I'm just going to take my paper towel and just press everything down. Okay, now let's keep going forward. So these now, the details for the face, like the section, like for example, this hair and all this, we will add on to the, because on this, on the face piece, I'm going to be using this one here. It's like almost like skin color. So let's do that, and then I'll be able to show you here. So I'm going to cut this whole piece over here. Let's put this aside. Whatever paper. So I have my paper here, and I'm just going to choose some area which I feel you can choose either if you want to use the, like this piece, this paper, I don't even know where I picked it up from. Anyway, this is from some pizza panini past someplace. Anyways, so you can either choose to use the wording, like wording over here, like to show it, or you can do it on the back side so that it shows up a little bit, but it's not in your face. It's in that way you can even enhance the features, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this here. Now place my paper over here, somewhere here, right? And we will cut the face. We will cut out the face now here. Just want to make sure I have the right shape as much, because we do want it to look like a face. And faces can be very, very tricky. I think we've got most of it. All right, and let's see. Okay, we've got that. Got this piece. Bring this back, and this will go over here. This. So you can see here that the words are showing, but it's not like too blaring. If I put it this way, assuming, because now the direction is not correct, this is a bit too much. So I think it's going to be better like this one. So let's go ahead and stick this. So when you are choosing your papers, before you decide your papers, just take a look at the drawing and see what features you have, what are the components, and how would you like to, use your collage papers or wrapping, whatever papers you have, just so that you are able to choose the right ones. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this here, making sure it's placed properly. So that's that. Okay. And now we need to work on, let's say, the flowers. Okay, I'm not going to worry about these little things because we will use our markers and gold pens and stuff like that, and even these smaller details. And the reason for that is I want to give it a bit of dimension and depth. If I put paper like everywhere, it's just going to look all flat, right? All the same. So these things, so these, like all these things, this one, this, even this one here, and even these lines over here, I'm just going to leave that. So I'm just going to start working on these. Maybe I'll do a bit of black for this one too. All these, I'm going to use markers, but even do the flowers for all this. So now if you take a look at this closely here, so this paper is kind of in a pretty bad shape, and that is why having multiple copies of your printout is always a good idea. So you can grab another three of mine. So this one got a little bit messed up, but I have another one here. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way. So now for the flowers, I'm going to do a mix. I'm going to use part of this because I wanted to use the black and gold combination. Yeah, remember? So I'm going to put this here and do a rough, like a very rough outline of the flowers. Again, I am not aiming for perfection at all. One. So here's one, and I'm just going to roughly place it on my paper. Then I'm going to do this one. Jax, do you have any questions? Here, and I'll show you in just a minute. And then you get to these flowers. So when I'm looking at this painting here, so like this flower and this flower seem to jump out to me a little bit more than the others. So these two, I will probably do in like either gold or red. One of these. Okay, I'm going to go with red because I think gold will look a little bit awkward. So let me first do these other flowers. And like these two I will leave, but I'll do the others. Got this piece as well. So I'm going to put it right there where it should be. And then we'll do, so this flower and this flower will be in red, and we'll just do the other few flowers. We'll do this one. So let's get this one. This leaf we'll do in golden. Oops, so we got a cut over here, which is fine. I won't worry about it too much, because you can fill it in with some other paper. Okay, so we got this, got this. This we need to get this flower as well. So making sure that I have enough paper there and I don't make that mistake. So talking about mistakes, don't overthink it. It's just paper. Like this, and I'm going to place it here. Right, so let's cut the red flowers now. Let me get my paper. This is red paper. This paper is a little bit thick, so I'm going to have to push in a little bit harder to cut it. But it's working. It's not that bad. I just have to cut it in small sections. So when you are choosing your papers, try to choose papers which are, different textures, different finishes, maybe smooth, maybe probably a little bit rough, has some dimension to it, because when you choose papers that way, you eventually add dimension and texture to your painting as well. Didn't even cut, but yes, it did. A little tricky to see, but I can see the cut marks. There we go. Okay, there we go. This is our red flower. So I'm just going to put it here. So this flower goes like right here. We'll see how it places. I think it is. It should be like like this. Something's not right. I think this section got cut up. Anyway, so we'll come back to it. See, I like this. So some says, for example, this petal was not cut properly, but no worries about that. So we'll come back to it after I've cut the second flower. So the other ones are, this one goes here, this one is here, this one's there. The others are okay. So we'll just cut this flower. Okay. This is a relatively simpler one, I think. Again, I'm cutting it into small bits just so that it's easier to cut. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit here. I got this piece out. I'm going to get my painting back here. I'm going to fit it in here. This here. So this section actually was cut up here. So I'm going to use that. So you see what happens when you are doing mixed media work. Sometimes things don't go as planned. So this will fit in nicely over here. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick these pieces now. We got that. And where is my okay, let's get this one here and this one as well. I just have to fit this in, like how did this go? Yeah, it's this way. Maybe not. Because the other way around. Okay, so we've got this here. And something does not seem right because this flower is here. This. I'm going to rip this just to make sure that I can fit things properly. So here I had to make some adjustments, and you can see over here there's a little bit of a mishap happening here. So I'm just going to use this piece and fit it in here, which is completely okay. We got this, and let's put these pieces now. Because this paper is thick, maybe I need to put a little bit more glue on this one. And let's see how this one fits. Okay, so that's good here. Beautiful. Okay, and then we'll do this one. And what I'm going to do is, with this, something got a little bit out of control here, and I'm not going to overthink this. Okay, and I'm going to actually put this thing over here. It seems to fit properly. Okay, so improvise, improvise, improvise. Now this piece, I believe this goes through. Okay, so I think I have the main pieces up here. Okay, and I'm going to stop right here for now, and what I mean, in part 2 I will come back and I will show you the full piece, because this needs time to dry. And when I finish this, I'll come back and show you when all the pieces have been stuck, all the other cutouts have been stuck wherever they belong. And then when I'm doing the work with the wax crayons, the water soluble wax crayons, I will come back and show you how I have embellished this whole thing. All right. So now I have stuck all these pieces, like the black for the hair and these flowers in different wrapping paper, this red flower. And then I was thinking, what else can I do to bring out more color in this? And of course the face is this way. Then I remembered that I had some washi tape. So this flower I'm going to do with some washi tape. So when you're doing mixed media and things like this, it's kind of nice to, go into your cupboards and see the stash you have of, we have so many things. People, especially, I know I do have a lot of things, which is kind of, sometimes it's a bit overkill, but that's what we do, right? As crafters, as artists, we like to hoard stuff. So the beauty with washi tape is that it's got a sticky back here. So I'm just going to cut. So you can see this flower. You can see this flower here. See that? Yeah, there. So I'm just going to cut it in here. And I'm going to cut out this flower. It's a sunflower, and I'm just going to cut it and put it in that place of that flower. It does not have to be perfect. You remember, I'm not a fan of perfection. So it's completely okay. Okay, I got that. And I'm going to put it here. There will be an overlap, which is completely fine by me. Okay, so there it goes. You see this over here? So the flower goes in here. And I'm going to also put some washi tape in other areas as well, like this piece, for example. I'm just going to rip it with my hands, and that's the beauty of washi tape. You can just cut it, peel it with your hands, like literally cut it with your hands and just stick it. So that adds a little bit more dimension to it. And there's other ones as well. There's this one too, so I'm going to probably put some let's see, where are some other flowers, like in this section here and even over here. So I'm just going to open this one up, and I'm going to start ripping it, just literally ripping it. See that here? And I'm going to place it. If you want to cut it into shapes, you by all means you can, if you wish. Maybe once you cut it with your hands, you can give it some rough edges and start pasting it into different into smaller pieces, really. Oh, come on. There we go. See that? See the color? See the color, the way the it's just adding a bit, another layer, let's put it that way, another layer of color over there. It's got some flowers in it too, so which is kind of nice. So very easy to use. Washi tape is a really fantastic medium. So I'm just literally filling in some spaces where I think the blue will look kind of nice and cool. Okay, and I'm going to put some here as well. And a little bit up on the top here. So I think this we'll use markers to give more texture in that section. I'm going to turn it around. And maybe I'll change my tape. Okay, so I've got this beautiful color. So I have this one here. So the one that I'm using, this washi tape, is the the Van Gogh washi tape. This is the one I think, and I got it off Amazon. So Amazon has plenty of stuff. I'm going to open this. Okay. Alright, so it's this one. So this section, this one I'm going to use just here from the top. That looks pretty good and interesting. You can actually make whole paintings out of washi tape. Maybe that is my next project. Okay, so I got everything there, and I think I'm pretty happy with the colors and the dimension with different papers. thicknesses and textures and all this. So now the next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to give this whole thing a coat of the matte gel, and we will let it dry for a couple of hours. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and the reason for doing this is so that it locks all the textures, the papers really nicely. And then we will do a bit of gold foil work also on the top. Okay, so now there's a full coat of the matte gel, and I'm going to leave this to dry for a few hours, and then I'm going to come back and we will do some gold work, a little bit more gold, like gilding type of work, and we will do all these areas with markers to give it a bit more dimension. Alright, so now it's been about an hour since I gave a coat of the matte gel to my whole painting. So we've used a variety of papers. This is washi tape, this is just some scrapbooking paper, this is wrapping paper, and this is also some leftover paper. I don't know where I got it from, and this is also washi tape. So it's giving me a nice color blend, and now I want to go in and give it some more texture and more details really. So this is my reference image, and I'm going to try to get it as close as possible to this, but it is not really necessary. So I'm going to start with the hair. Okay, so I'm going to start with the hair over here. Just try to, and I'm using silver here. So this is a silver gel pen. So just putting in those lines just to give it the nice locks of hair our reference image has. Okay, and because that is our coloring book page. Remember, this was a coloring book page when we started it. So I'm just maybe you can put on some music and just have fun, enjoy it. just going over, putting in those lines. It's really hair, right? So keep that in mind, and they can be thick, thin, and you can get them closer, as detailed as you want. Okay, with gel pen you've got to keep cleaning it up. Okay, and now here, so I'm going to leave this golden like as it is. So now there is some hair here as well, and over here if you want you can use a black, this is a brush pen, and you can just go over them a little bit. Because you do want the hair showing up really nicely. So I'm still using the brush pen, and I will throw in some silver as well there. Okay, and there's some hair here as well. Let's get in the silver. All right, now at the end I do want to give it a bit of a wash, like colored with the Caran d'Ache that I had mentioned to you before. But remember that this is a water soluble wax pastel, and once the wax pastel goes, there's nothing you can do on top of it. So we will use these in the end. Okay, so now we got the silver, so I want to give all these, I don't want to leave them black here, so I'm going to use Posca pens. So, and I want to give in some details here as well into the flower. Okay, so for the flower I have the Posca pen, I have yellow, and you can use any kind of markers that you have. I just want to make sure it's working properly here. So I have this yellow here, and I have the flower detail over here, and I'm going to try to get it as close as I can, but again, not necessary. You want to give it the look of a flower, and that's what you do. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay. And go here as well. And then there's these flowers, like this one. So this one we will probably use like a red, because we already have red in there. So give it a nice outline, center, and that's it. Okay, here as well, we give it a nice center, give it the outline, and some in center details. Okay. And now for these circles, I'm trying to think. I don't want to get more color in there, so probably I will go in with the gold. It is already black there, and I'll just do the gold. Okay, and now for the details of the face. So you can see that it is a pretty transparent, and I can see, which is kind of nice. Okay, I like that. And I'm going to just enhance some of these details in black as well. Now all these spaces will get covered when we are using the Caran d'Ache colors there. So here I'm finding a few details missing. So I'm just going to go back with my red and just fill them up. And maybe some green as well for the leaves. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now it's time for the Caran d'Ache over here. So I will just, so the way these colors work is you simply take the crayons, so they're essentially like crayons, and I'll decide the color, and then I'll take then I'll just rub them in. Now for example, in this section here, I want to mimic the color of the skin. Let's see the actual image. So this is probably her neck. Okay, so I want to mimic the color of the skin. So I will pick a color which is similar to this. Okay, and I'm just going to color just like you normally would. And that is the reason why we picked watercolor paper. And then I am just going to take maybe a watercolor brush. Okay, and I have water here in the container. Just take water, and I'm just going to see the way it's getting dissolved. The wax is getting dissolved, and it is giving a really nice watercolor wash type of wash. And that's it. This is a wonderful medium to work with, very easy to work with, and when this thing dries it will actually be waxy, and that is the reason why we wanted to I did not want to do the color before, because once this is waxy I cannot paint anything over it. So now this is done, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to decide, because I don't want to keep this, like a little bit of white is okay, but I do want to give it a kind of a wash kind of an effect. So I'm just going to choose some colors which will go well with our theme here, just on the outside, just like here, like literally around the face, as close as possible. So I think I'm going to choose maybe a little bit of the orangish kind of a thing. I always gravitate towards this color, so I'm just going to go around it, like around the whole image. and I'm doing it very lightly. I'm not going hard. Because I just want to give it just a slight color. I personally like bright colors, so you can choose the colors of your own choice, whatever you like. If you like muted colors, pastels, whatever you prefer, you can do that. This is the orange, and I want to add a little bit of another color to it as well, and most likely I'm going to do this greenish. This is like lime green, so I'm just going to do it on this exactly next to the orange, because I'm going to do a bit of blending there. Goes this way, like all around. Okay, so we got all that. And now we take my brush with a little bit of water and we will go all around it. See what's going on now? So it's nicely, it's pretty quick, and it is almost like a watercolor wash, but within a waxy kind of an effect. Okay. I think the green is a little bit muted, but I'm okay with that. I don't want the green to overpower. Just subtle is good for me. Okay. So I think that is pretty good. Okay. So that it kind of, when you do this kind all around, it kind of frames the whole like the whole painting, and it looks like really nice. Now in these sections over here where you see white, if you want, it's entirely up to you. You can see that there's a bit of orange, so if you want to take in your pastel here and you want to color it and give it a bit more, you don't want the white to show, you can by all means go in and put in some color there as well. Make sure you don't take too much water, that's all. Okay. So that's that. The last thing that's just me that I like to do, I always like to finish off paintings with some kind of stamping. Okay, so what I am going to do is I have these stamps, and I have, now keeping the theme in mind, I think I'm just going to, I won't put words because in the previous one that we had done there were words on it. So I will just pick this one here. Okay, and I have my stamping block. I'll just go here. And I think I'm going to pick a red. And these are distress inks that I have. So all I have to do is just take some on my stamp and I'll just stamp here. Okay, just, you don't want too much, just maybe one here, I guess. It's not overpowering, so if you want, we can put maybe one over here as well. Yep, and that is it. I think this is looking nice, although I feel like I need to give this part a little bit more detail. So I'm just going to get my black pen, because this is actually a leaf. So I'm just going to make it look like a leaf. And maybe I'll add a little bit of the green color in this as well. So we finish off this painting with just adding a little bit more body to this so that it looks like a leaf here. You don't need to do too much. If you want, you can add a little bit of red there, but I think I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so tell me, what do you think of this painting? Of course, you can definitely do more stuff to it, whatever you like, but this is really the technique, and you can go as busier or as less busy as you want. And yeah, so have fun with it. Pick another coloring book picture and just enjoy the whole process. Thank you so much.